Alright guys, so I was going to watch this in the screening, but that day it was extremely hot outside. It was like 106 degrees. It was on Wednesday, and the movie, if you count Thursday night screenings, it was like a day before the movie even came out. So I just decided to wait till the weekend to watch this movie, and before I watched it, I just want to tell you guys I watched War for the Planet of the Apes again with my parents. I loved it even more. But right after, I watched the movie that I'm about to review, Detroit. So let's move on. Detroit, you might think it's about the Detroit riot. It's not. It's about what went down in the Algiers motel when somebody decided to mess with the police and shoot their fake pistol. Of course, the police took this serious. They head over to that motel and they see that black men are involved with this whole situation and two white women, so they hold those black men and those two white women hostage for the rest of the night. This movie is directed by Catherine Bigelow. I haven't seen The Hurt Locker, but I've seen Zero Dark 30, and that movie's pretty overrated. I just don't think that Zero Dark 30 is as great as people make it out to be. But she certainly has this movie, and this is her best work. Seriously, with first Patty Jenkins, the director of Wonder Woman, and now with Catherine Bigelow, the director of Detroit, I think that these two movies, mainly because of the directors, it's going to change the way how we see female directors, and I think we're going to start getting more of these good female directors, if not these exact directors to direct more movies. I just think that Catherine Bigelow did a great job capturing the very tense moments of this movie. So in the beginning of this movie, we had a animated montage of what led up to the Detroit riot, and I just wasn't a big fan of that. I don't know whether it was the animation that they chose to basically play this off with, or the fact that it was animated. You know, the whole thing about this being animated just kind of pulled me out. And a way that they could have pulled off to do this is basically something similar to what Atomic Blonde did. Remember, Atomic Blonde took place when the Berlin Wall was about to be knocked over, and in the beginning they kind of have like a montage of the news and the Berlin Wall and everything, and basically telling you what's going on. And they could have did that here with the Detroit riot and what led up to it, and just have the text and have clips, and they had to go with the animation thing, and I just wasn't a fan. But I still think that this movie is very well set up, because after that animated montage that tells you everything that went on before the Detroit riot and what led up to it, they show you things of what's happening during the Detroit riot, and, you know, people being angry and all that. And then all that leads up to the whole Algiers motel situation. But once you actually get to the Algiers motel situation, you actually feel like you're there. You feel like you're with these black men and these two white women just also being held hostage by the police, and it's just so terrifying. This movie almost tells the story the most realistic way possible. And this movie puts you in a very hard position to watch, because you're basically just there watching this happen, and of course you don't want that. You really just want to help out, and that made me really angry. What made me really angry about this movie was seeing the police, you know, abusing these black people and just threatening them and being racist towards them. And not only that, but they were also hitting the women, which just upset me very much. And all of this feeling very real. Of course, it's also mainly because of the acting. John Boyega, he is a security guard in this movie, and he's basically keeping all the anger to himself, but he's still very upset to what's happening, and you could tell because he is basically almost like us, the audience. He's watching this happen. But I think that the real career changer here is definitely Will Poulter. He is the main police officer in this movie, and, you know, he's the one saying all these racist comments, threatening these people, and he's a villain in this movie. He's not even a police officer. He's a villain. He's definitely the most terrifying thing about this movie. And I want to see Will Poulter in more roles like this, because we've seen him in movies like Narnia and We're the Millers, and we never seen him in anything quite like this before, which is why he was surprising. Jacob Latimore, Jason Mitchell, Anthony Mackie, the point is, everyone in this movie gives such a great performance, and possibly the best performance in their careers. Another problem I had with this movie, it's the pacing. This movie has pacing issues. And it's mainly in the second act where you get pulled into this situation where you feel like you're there. And let's be honest, if you were in a situation just like this, it's going to feel like the longest night of your life. And that's exactly how I felt during this whole Algiers motel situation. The pacing just really drags on, and it feels longer than the movie actually is, and of course, Seeing this movie at 10 p.m. really wasn't a great option when a movie like this drags on. Overall, Detroit, I think it's very well written, very well acted, very well directed, and very perfectly set up, even though I could have gone for something else rather than that animated montage in the beginning. But damn, this movie is so good. The pacing didn't really help for this movie, but this movie is definitely full price worthy, and I'm gonna give Detroit a B+. Go support this movie. I don't think it's a masterpiece as many people are saying it is, but again, it's a really good movie. I think you should really go see this movie. It's very important for you guys to watch this movie. I almost kind of obligate you guys to watch this movie. But yeah, this movie it's almost a horror movie. I think it's definitely one of the most terrifying experiences I had at the movies in a very long time, and I mean that with all my heart. Anyways, have you guys seen this movie? If you guys have seen it, tell me what you guys thought about it in the comment section down below. Like always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.